Okay, we are live, I think. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Mangalam University, I, Rishija Singh, would like to invite you all to today's webinar on the topic Work Smarter, Not Harder, with a special thanks and welcome to Mr. Gagandeep Singh. Mr. Gagan is a celebrated leadership trainer and a motivational speaker. Mr. Gagan is also a founder of Gagan Winning Edge Persona program, that is a leadership training institute. He's a devoted academician and has conducted more than 1 million interviews. He's also associated with a lot of global and Indian universities. Mr. Gagan has a corporate career of 23 years, spearheading global HR LD initiative in different MNCs in different capacities as director and member of boards. Welcome, sir. Now I would like to shed some light on the topic that we are discussing today, that is working smarter, not harder. Working smart means getting the same result within less time. To give you an example, the Ford Motor Company in 1910 used to produce 11 cars in a month. The founder of the company, Henry Ford, however, was not satisfied with by the result, given his ambition to produce cars for the masses. He then picked up the idea of assembly line production from a meat packaging company and applied it on his own company. Within a year, the Ford Motor Company was able to produce new car every 3 minutes in less money. So that was a great example of working smarter and not harder. Now, this phrase working smarter and not harder becomes all the more pertinent when seen in the context of college life. Since unlike school life, college life provides students with a lot of free time. Usually the students are not saddled with the homeworks, back-to-back classes, like the school. And besides, they also face a lot of distractions like social media, relationship, friendships, etc. So this phrase becomes a very important in their life as well. With these moot points, I would like to invite Mr. Gagandeep Singh to enlighten us with his take on this topic and give us his mantra to do work smarter and not harder. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, ma'am. A very good morning to all wonderful students. And at the outset, my deep gratitude to the management of Mangalam University, respected Dr. Arora sir, and all the panel members. It's always a privilege to be back. Thank you so much, Rishija ma'am, for all your support. So may I confirm that is my voice clear, presentation clear?
More than clear.
Okay, great.
Okay.
So like you spoke about smart work, so even before we start discussing about smart work, I like to briefly, add on to the beautiful story of Ford. So what is it that Ford did? What is it that all wonderful students can learn from Ford's journey from 3 cars, like 10, 11 cars in a month to something like 20,000 cars in a month? If you do 3 a minute, you are making like 20 in an hour. You work 10 hours, about 200 into 25. So about, let's say, maybe close to 10,000 cars. That means a jump of close to 1,000 times. To understand that philosophy, ma'am, and building onto your beautiful story, let me tell you the concept of smart work through another story. This is the story of 2 woodcutters. So my beloved Mangalam students, once upon a time in a jungle, there were 2 woodcutters. And both of them were in. Luckily, they got the job. But there was a problem. The manager of the company was a stickler for rules. He was very clear. I want my employees to work every day from 6 o'clock to 6 p.m. Morning 6 a.m., I want everybody cutting trees. 6 p.m., when you're dead tired, you can go back home. But by heart, he was a kind man. So as they started progressing, The first woodcutter was very punctual, very hardworking. He used to come to the work at sharp 6 o'clock, work hard all day. And as a result, manager was very, very happy with him. And he gave him the beautiful name of hardworking woodcutter and gave him a big hug every day when he would be. He said, "You are my future champion. I love you. You're a very hardworking woodcutter." And the manager used to think, the moment 1 month of probation is over, I'll make him a manager or a deputy manager. But what happened? On the other hand, second woodcutter, for the first 1 or 2 days, he was okay. But then he became irregular. He started coming late. In fact, at times, he was not seen for almost half day. So the manager got so angry, he named him absent woodcutter. So actually, the manager wanted that I should terminate जो absent woodworker है, जो काम ही नहीं कर रहा, उसको रखना क्यों है? So he was very clear, I will promote the hardworking woodcutter because he's so hardworking, and I will fire the absent woodcutter because he doesn't work. दिखता ही नहीं है, पता नहीं कहाँ होता है. But since he was a kind man, he said, okay, let me give them 1 month to see the results. But more or less, he was sure that hardworking will get promoted, the absent one would get fired. But my dear K.R. Mangalam participants, can you guess what happened? Exactly the opposite. Because after a month, when the result came, the hardworking woodcutter got fired, whereas the absent woodcutter got promoted. So everybody was stunned. हर एक की जबान पे प्रश्न था, ये उल्टा कैसे हो गया भाई? जो 6 से 6 गधे की तरह काम कर रहा था वो फायर हो गया, और जो आधा दिन आता था वो प्रमोट हो गया. So then investigation was done, and what was found was the very sincere, hardworking employee was actually just doing mere unintelligent hard work. So as a result, his axe started becoming blunt, and instead of trying to innovate, focus on his resources, sharpening his axe, he continued to work with the same blunt axe. And as a result of that, he had a barren field with almost no food to show. And once he had no wood to show, his tree count started going down. He was only able to cut about 200 trees, progressively reducing, and was fired. On the other hand, what was the absent woodcutter doing? The absent woodcutter, my friends, looked absent. But during that 50% of time, the smart woodcutter was sharpening his axe, innovating, using every tool, increasing efficiency, working from various angles. Should I hit from this angle? Should I hit from this angle or that angle? And this was what helped him to become promoted and be a smart working manager, and therefore get promoted. So coming back to my discussion with Rishika ma'am. So Rishika ma'am, basically linking with the Ford story now. Be it the case of Henry Ford. It is said that Henry Ford spent quite a few months. He went to a meat factory and learned over there. So he was quite, in a similar sense, absent. Why? He was studying how he could change batch production to assembly line production. So hard work is good. I'm going to talk about that. Hard work is good. If you don't work hard, you may not succeed. However, hard work plus smartness is the smart key, which is the key to celebration and success. So in your life, all you wonderful K.R. Mangalam students, you must work hard, of course, but the meaning of smartness comes that you use the techniques, resources, tools, methods to make maximum output in the same given time so that you become productive. Because just because you're busy doesn't mean you're productive. Just because you're spending time doesn't mean that you are going to be successful. So From the story told by Rishika ma'am and myself, the common lesson of Henry Ford and the smart axe cutter is that a smart student will spend time, but he will also spend time to find ways to do the things more efficiently. So that's a philosophical context, ma'am. I hope this is clear.
Yes, sir, that was a wonderful story, very enjoyable, and I'm sure the students must have learned from the moral of this story. However, I will proceed with one more question. What do you think are the component of a smart work? Components of a smart work?
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. I think it's a very good question, ma'am. So again, I go back to like the case of Henry Ford or the case of this particular woodcutter. What were they doing? If you look at component, let me explain the concept first again. So my dear students, I'll do a small quiz. So please hurry up. My mobile number is 935-422-6620. I am going to show you some pictures. You have to tell me who's the hard worker here, rickshaw puller, factory worker, office manager, or CEO. Hurry up, please give me the answer. Who works harder? You have 20 seconds. Okay, I have started getting answers. Okay, Madhur. Yes, this is half correct. Madhur, think again. Who's the hard worker versus who's the smart worker? So Madhur, probably you are linking the two. However, I want you to think separately. Okay, I have got answer from a girl called Shefali. Shefali, full marks for you. Shefali says, sir, although rickshaw puller is the hardest worker, the CEO is the smartest worker. Thank you, Shefali Bacha. You have almost solved my puzzle for me. Congratulations to Shefali. The beauty of work is that when you are doing it, what quality are you putting in? Even a rickshaw puller, a stone crusher, works 16 hours with brutal hard work. But the output is linked not just with the input, but with the resources you are using. So you have to remember that. Now, going back to the example of Rishika ma'am of Henry Ford. What did Henry Ford actually do? He learned the right thing. He learned the right way through assembly, meet, line. But more importantly, like Rishika ma'am said, Henry Ford came to know kya nahi karna. What are the wrong, fundamentally defective processes which have to be stopped? So in the context of all the college students, I want you to think at this juncture, the probably most crucial thing which you may have to think about stopping is distractions. It may come from social media. It may come from Netflix. It may come from partying, pubbing, or I don't know what are the possible distractions. It could be anything. So what are the wasteful tasks that you have to cut? For Henry Ford, in Rishika ma'am's example, the greatest wasteful task was the act of storing inventory in bunches, buying it and then producing, which stopped when he shifted to assembly line. And similarly, for the smart woodcutter, the right thing was sharpening the axe at different angles. And he eliminated complete single-minded dedication to cutting. He knew new things had to be done. So therefore, it's important to understand the definition of smart working is very simple. Knowing what to do, choose your goal, then knowing what not to do. What are the distractions? What are the wrong goals? And then find the smart tools. Your tools could be people around you, your mentors, your professors, your guides, your teachers, the university, the coaching, mentoring, the kind of relationship and network between you and the university, the apps or the tools which the university provides you, and you yourself arrange are some of the tools. So that being said,
sir, I have a question over here.
Yes, sir.
We have said knowing what to do. And in that, the first thing is, of course, choosing right goal. Then is rejecting wasteful tasks. So
Yes.
for a student, what exactly is rejecting wasteful tasks, apart from the distractions you mentioned? If you could throw some light on it, it will be very helpful, I feel, for the students.
Sure, sir. So let me quote example of my own journey at Delhi College of Engineering. So at Delhi College of Engineering in 91 to 95, I was doing my mechanical engineering, specializing in air conditioning. So we used to do some air conditioning projects. Now, there were non-azeotropic gas mixtures which were being designed, and a group of 5 students. The task of assembling an air conditioner, Dr. Arora sir, included everything from buying the wooden cardboard to the aluminium external boards, to the copper condenser coils, and to the actual gas that you have to design. Now, we were just about 4 core students. The wasteful tasks are those which are non-contributing. So I always give the example of Amitabh Bachchan in the movie Pink. No means no. So we students decided, in order to be more productive, we will delegate the low productive task of buying the cardboard, buying the polythene, to a local supporting peon who would go and buy that for us. We will concentrate our time in only designing the gases. So as a student in today's world, the wasteful task is anything which is not providing you the core value. Another example, sir, is the SQ3R method. In a chapter, I remember, because air conditioning books used to have like 1000 pages. And we were, of course, supposed to read all the 1000 pages, sir. But our very respected, revered Professor Dr. Saluja, in the very first hardcore Punjabi air conditioning god. I mean, his projects were even respected by IIT Delhi. So people used to die to do a project under him. He said, बच्चों, ये 1000 पेज की बुक है, लेकिन इसमें सिर्फ 50 पेज पढ़ने हैं. तो अगले 2 दिन मैं आपको दे रहा हूं, 2 दिन मत आना, 2 दिन क्लास नहीं होगी. 2 दिन के बाद आओगे तो ये लेकर आना कि कौन से 50 पेज है, उस पर मैं टेस्ट करूंगा कि कौन सा बच्चा काम का है, कौन सा निकम्मा है. I'll translate into English for the benefit of those who may have. So our respected Dr. Saluja from Delhi College of Engineering in 1991-95, air conditioning, used to give a 1000 page book and used to say that the core lies in about 50 pages. Don't come for next 2 days, but understand which are the 950 pages not to read. So I think, thank you, sir, for a very important question, that quite often, theoretically, we are supposed to read everything. But practically, we can win if we know what is the low value irrelevant item which has just been kept there for the heck of it. So like Dr. Saluja used to do, कि बच्चों इन 1000 पेज में कौन से 950 पेज नहीं पढ़ने, ये समझ पाए वही बच्चा काम का है, बाकी निकम्मा है. Is the important message to all the students that I mean, mathematically trying to give you a pattern here, but all my students, I wish to tell you that even within your studies, there may be core things that you should do perfectly. The ability to identify irrelevant things is a very big secret to be a winner in your life. I hope, sir, these 2 examples put the context, sir.
Little bit over here, if you permit me.
Yes, sir.
See, sir gave you an example very clearly, and there Dr. Saluja was the one who said you have to search those 50 pages. Now, you might be finding very difficult to search those portions which are relevant, which are not relevant, and all. That's one point and all that. Okay. So, of course, from understanding point of view, you must concentrate on the entirety. But from the point of view of grasping, retaining it, you must understand that this is the core knowledge I have to go through. So one way which I always told my students to follow is this, that do one thing. Search in previous years how many questions have been put out of which portion of the book you are going to read, or right? So you will come across when you do the analysis. Now you see what the analysts are doing nowadays. There is a data analysts are doing a special job. They are being recruited by the companies and all. But this is a simple data analysis technique which if you learn at at your college level itself, this is going to help you tremendously. Just go to previous year's question papers of the university. Not one university. Go to 3-4 universities previous year's question papers and all that, and see what are the relevant portions which have been asked, which have been questioned again and again, where every student was supposed to face, okay, this. The very frequency, highest frequency, statistics, right? So very frequency, if you find out, this will help you. A simple table will help you to find out the content which is really needed to be mastered, right? So this is another way of learning. Of course, the role of mentors is unquestionable, right? Because the mentors, like sir remembers Professor Suluj, right?
Yes.
So you remember him because he played that big role to guide. Okay, so this is another way I used to guide my students. So
thank you, sir.
Over to you,
Brilliant.
sir. Over to you.
Thank you so much. So I think Dr. Arora has enlightened the very vital perspective of using past year papers, past year questions to probably further elucidate what Dr. Saluja was trying to ask students to. Thank you so much, sir. So now coming back to the question of ma'am, basically, if we look at the concept SMART in very simple terms, we can cobble up an acronym where S means that the smart student works on schedule. Now, schedule means breaking a big goal into small goal, breaking the larger part of your life schedule into very precise measurable units. How to make a table, I will discuss about that in the end of this webinar. But scheduling skill is very important skill, Rishika ma'am. The second skill, ma'am, is about mission orientation. What are your vital priorities? Because at any given time, there could be millions of theoretical priorities. So I remember in Delhi College of Engineering, we were supposed to have 3 majors, but students knew eventually the company which is the dream job looks for 1. So the smartness started coming, the students started giving complete focus to only 1. Options were turbine and electrical related designings and air conditioning. But the dream job would typically come from anyone, so you had to choose. So for example, I started giving maximum of my mission. My mission was to become a gold medalist in air conditioning related sub-niche, which I achieved. So there may be thousands of things, but you can't be an excellent one at all. Like at IIM Ahmedabad, being generalist, we were taught marketing, finance, HR. But my mission became that in order to get a dream finance job in the beginning, I must focus on finance. And I was one of the top 3 students in finance related courses. So choose your sub-stream, your sub-goal, which career, and then back calculate. Next, Rishika ma'am, is additional alertness. We cannot become successful unless we contain distractions. So I'm going to talk about that in a while later. And then the fundamental skill to reflect, review, reorient. Because the whole concept of smartness, Rishika ma'am, is when we review our methodology. And there is no single road to success. If you reached 1 level of efficiency, you could reach to 1 level higher and then so on. And finally, ma'am, time sensitivity. An absolute dogged devotion to being alert about time, because every second matters. So these are the sort of 5 components how we can define SMART map. I hope this satisfies your query, ma'am. Over to you.
Yes, sir. It was more than satisfactory, and also the exchange between you and Ashok Arora sir was extremely enlightening to me. Now, moving on to my next question, I would now that we know the
Rishija ma'am,
component
before you move to the next question you have in
Sure.
mind, for better understanding of the various things sir has said in this acronym SMART. I'm very happy the acronym is also SMART and we want to be smart. That's exactly my goal. So I hope our students will never forget how to be smart now because they want to be smart. Okay. Now the thing is this, sir, usually like time sensitivity and what do you call it, addiction or alertness, distractions, temptations, these are something which constantly haunt students, and they find it very difficult to balance. Very difficult to balance. I know I must do something like this, and yet distractions become too heavy on me, right? So I change my priority. Aaj kar lete hain aur kal zarur wo karenge and all that. This is what exactly bothers. So how is this that constantly reminding and coming back to this? Okay, this is what exactly is, because I understand very clearly the mission word is very much important in this, and that plays a role. So I would love, sir, if you could throw some light on that.
Yeah. Sir, a very, very pertinent question. Thank you for asking it. That everybody in an ideal situation does know these are the distractions, but then at the end of the day, we humans only fall in that trap and are finding hard to recover. So, sir, in my experience, basically it's a combination of students' own willpower in the surroundings. So again, I'll give you a small example from IIM Ahmedabad. So the way the university created a structure was that in a specific short booklet, the booklet was, let's say, 100 pages. But sir, every day there was a case material distribution and collection back system established by university. So they would give 5 pages. Today, marketing chapter 1, these 5 pages are there, please read them, and tomorrow afternoon 3 o'clock come back again for next page number 6 to 10 and come back with the report also. So the systems were kept so may I say structure bound, at least in the first year at IIM Ahmedabad, that to be honest, it was the university's great systems which were driving the so-called brilliant students who had come through the CAT process. So brilliant students being driven by university students led ki there was a great sense of commitment to excel and avoid addictions. The second thing which I would like to say about addiction is that at some stage, a clarity about the glorious future that you want for yourself becomes a good inspiration. So I always encourage students to use the power of written goals. I'm going to just explain it. Make charts, posters, pictures. You want to work at McKinsey? Make a big picture or poster of you working at McKinsey, making presentation to thousands of people, post it on your wall. So these kind of things can hopefully help you remain in the path. So student combined with the university should be able to do that.
Very good, sir. So onus is on both.
Yes,
right?
yes.
The institute as well as the student. So a constant effort has to be made by both.
Yes,
and
sir.
This is when both are smart, I would say. The university is also smart and the student is also smart. We end up having smart, we having more smart students, right? And we end up having workforce, which is extra smart.
Yes,
right?
sir. Beautifully, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Okay, sir. Now that we understand the concept of smartness and the various components that it is consisted of, I would like to ask you why it is so relevant the concept of smart work for the professionals and the students in today's world?
So, ma'am, thank you for the question. It is very vital to understand this. Why are we even having this webinar today? Why even talk about smartness? And the answer for that lies in a very challenging reality of today's world. Technology, artificial intelligence, and various kind of big data internet, which were designed to make mankind's life happier, are today severely threatening the depletion of a huge chunk of job and career opportunities. Various surveys predict differently, but a lot of them largely concur that about half of the jobs in their present form would be gone. So what it means, ma'am, is that a student need to understand that today time is limited. There are definitely various realities of the world which were not there in 70s, 80s. So student may have to give time to things which were earlier not needed, be it technology or whatever. Resources are also limited. Things are expensive. Competition is brutal. As I said earlier, there are many people chasing few opportunities. Stakes are high. So the challenge, ma'am, is fortunately or unfortunately, if I were to put in a very brute manner, harsh reality, how to beat others and remain ahead, who need smart working. But once that happens, ma'am, it's also important to understand the contrarian perspective. What will happen if you're not a smart worker? What will happen if you don't apply smart principles into your life? And for that, ma'am, the vital factor to grasp is your mental health will suffer. Stress levels will augment. Overall state of peace, stability would get debilitated, and emotional well-being would also crumble. Because you're trying, but like the hardworking woodcutter, you're not able to cut the trees. Like the Henry Ford of yesteryears, you're only producing 11 cars. Once that happens, ma'am, your relationship suffer, your self-esteem suffers, and maybe, were I to use a very strong word, the whole concept of the dreams that you have sculpted for yourself, they collapse. So may I say, ma'am, that smart working today is no longer a virtue. It is a categorical imperative. It is a critical necessity for all students to implement in their life so that they can use their resources and be successful. I think that is how I would like to summarize. But basically, on a happier note, what I wish to motivate the students with is that even though you have limited time, smart working will help you do 1,000 times more tasks like Henry Ford did, or at least 10 times more like the smart tree cutter. So if you feel you can only give 5-6 hours to studies and you can't study 14-15 hours, so long as you're smart, you can get the work of 20 hours in 5 hours. You can learn more with lesser effort. And finally, you can search ahead while it's possible that others may not be that smart as you are. And that eventually, ma'am, is the vital essence why we must all be smart, the key to self-accomplishment, a happier and fulfilled life, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. So, okay. Sir, so now that we understand the relevance of smart work, and I think which is a lot, can I ask you what are the myths that are surrounded around the smart work, the concept of smart work?
Okay, thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you. So yes, I think it's once again a very, very relevant question. So I want to thank you for asking this. So I remember that there used to be lot of talk that smart students don't study. There is donkey's work and there is smart man's work. So there was a perception that smart people to just do bindas, masti, fun, and they don't do anything. But like the case of Henry Ford, like the case of manager of wood cutting company, it's clear. So ma'am, what was the manager thinking about the absent worker? वो क्या सोचता था? He was thinking that he's just having fun, right ma'am? But actually, ma'am, the smart worker was busy sharpening the axe. He was not watching Netflix. He was not watching social media. So that, ma'am, is the principle about the misconception that smart people don't work hard. Well, allow me to quote one of the greatest global leaders, a gentleman called Andy Grove. Now, many students here may not know of Andy Grove, but Bacho, you would know that Intel Inside. But who brought Intel inside every PC? That was Andy Grove. He's also said to have had the courage of lion because he divorced IBM and decided that Intel will go its own way in late 80s when IBM was the 800-pound gorilla of the computer industry. तो ये क्या कहते हैं work के बारे में? Andy Grove in his book wrote, I don't go to home when my work finishes. I go home when I am so tired, my body can't take it anymore. So which means probably I'm assuming working 16 hours, 18 hours, one of the smartest workers of the world ever. And then this one, all of you know, हमारा प्यारा, सबका न्यारा, हंसता, गाता, जोकर, राजू, नहीं, हमारा प्यारा, सबका न्यारा, Elon Musk. So what does Elon Musk say? If you want to change the world, be prepared to work 80 to 100 hours. In fact, Elon Musk says, forget about doing any impact if you're working 40 hours a week. So which means again, Elon is proposing that we need to work 16 hours. But the point that I'm trying to make is students often misconstrue the correlation between hard work and smart work. Hard work is a larger universe, like the hardworking woodcutter. But the smart working woodcutter is also working like the previous one from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., only that he's doing different things. So smart work is that subset of hard work when we use all the resources. So be it people, be it technology, be it relationships, be it university related systems, be it mnemonics, be it study tools. The ability to improvise, ability to schedule, make mission and become better is the concept of smart work. So we all must know that smart work makes us do much more in lesser time. Now, if within that lesser time your mission is accomplished, you could also have time for leisure, which is of course also true. But that's an outcome, not an intended goal. But usually smart working people will have time for everything. So you will study also, you will be a higher ranker also, and you'll have a happy, balanced, successful life. I hope that satisfies, ma'am.
Yes, sir, totally. We have a very comprehensive understanding of smart work, the understanding, the myths around it. Sir, do you have a question? Ashok?
Yeah, I have a question.
Okay.
Sir, you mentioned one point over here that using all, when you said, talked of resources, you talked about technical resources also, right? Now, since our focus is mainly on students today, that how they can be more smarter, right? So how technology can come to the rescue of the students for better studying,
Yeah,
I would love
thank you
to
so much, sir. Thank you so much. So, sir, one of the things which I regret today is not being a student at this age. Now at 50, of course, we are of course students in life. But when I talk to some of my 25-year juniors from IIM Ahmedabad today, what I realize, the institute has interconnected all 500 students through some apps. So there are various kind of apps, and I think they are using MS Planner. So what is happening, sir? that at our time, IIM Ahmedabad used to, let me explain your example with a small explanation of a slide. So give me just 1 second. I'm going to move to the relevant slide. So when we were young students, IIM Ahmedabad used to ask us to follow a specific technique called the armor framework. So just give me a second, please. Share screen. Share. So, sir, is my slide visible? Ma'am, Rishika ma'am, is my slide visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So, sir, we were asked to schedule. And today the same thing is done by an app. What it means is, it would calculate ki how many hours are left for our exams. So let's say we would calculate 840 hours are left. And there was a proper algorithm called GDP, gap, difficulty, and priority. So IIM Ahmedabad used to make us identify our priority, difficulty level, and then divide. So suppose I'm taking an example, I'm converted that more for a KR Mangalam student as I mean. Let's say student is taking maths, chemistry, English, physics. So goal is 99, 96, 95. This is the dream. Present level, 80, 80, 90, 70, 85. Gap, 19, 16, 5, 26, 5. Subject wise, then convert it into a percentile. This is a very complicated calculation, so I'm not going over there. Then we have a difficulty multiplier, we have a priority multiplier. And we come to a way by which we finally divide the hours. I will give 25% of my remaining 840 hours to maths, 22 to chemistry, 14 to English. Today, Arora sir, all of these time allocations are being done by technology app. So the app tells us or guides us what's our dream marks, what's our present level, what kind of a gap. So while of course a student has to put his or her own strategy over here, but in simple terms, like I told you, the case of IIM, they are focusing on MS Planner. I also understand some universities are using an app called Notion. So what these apps of technology are doing, sir, is they are helping the students plan by giving them automatic reminders. So app would blink, group meeting time, okay ji, jogging time, okay ji. And then once you came, there is some other of the 500 student who has agreed to jog with you. So I encourage students to make right company of friends. Then as a group, those devoted friends can use the apps and manage every aspect of time, subject weaknesses, like is happening today at some of the big universities.
Thank you, sir. That was a very enlightening reply that you just gave to Aurora, sir. So now that we have a very comprehensive understanding of what smart work is, what it entails and everything, I want to ask you, what are the popular techniques to do a smart work?
Okay, so thank you. So let me first, ma'am, is this presentation visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So let me give something which is called the champions framework. So there are 9 powerful habits. The first here is that of setting clear goals, or I also call it charts. So let me start by this concept of charts. So like Arora sir asked the question about a few minutes back, I like to reply with a quote. Even if you run fast, you may end up remaining at the same place if you keep running around in circles. So if you don't have the right goal, if you don't have the right target, you may probably end up going around in circles without a lack of clarity. So smart workers identify their vital goals, which give them direction. Now, how do we make our goals more inspiring for us? For that, this first year of a champion is charts. Various success techniques talk about power of written goals, affirmative visualization. So the saying goes, ma'am, prepare it, paste it, and then pursue it. Prepare it, paste it, pursue it. Prepare, paste, pursue, which means make a chart. Write big goals. Paste it on a prominent visible wall. Don't paste it inside the cupboard. Paste it outside so that your friends can see, your relatives can see. It's okay. So long as the world sees it, puts more pressure that I have to do it. And then monitor it. That what is the progress.
So we are talking of the workspace, like my study table, how it should be, what should be in front of me, or
Yes.
if I'm staying in a hostel, right? My
Yes.
walls of my, room, how it should be. Usually what we see is that's being covered by the Hollywood or Bollywood stars, right? But if you want to be smart, you have to change a few things, Of course, there may be many encouraging, motivating stars as well.
Yes, sir. Very pertinently said. Sir has, I think, student sir has really likened it to this quipping thought that actually it's a fact. At our time, we would have Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, or Marilyn Monroe. So the fact is, you probably need to have posters of your dream goals and then monitor the progress. Because I remember one of my Japanese directors when I was still a baby at Mitsubishi, hardly 26 years old, young professional. So when we would go into that director's cabin, एक तो इतना मोटा कारपेट होता था 2-2 इंच का कि शूज इतने अंदर घुस जाते थे कि लगता था गॉड यू फ्लाइंग लाइक मनीषा कोइराला ऑफ आज मैं ऊपर आसमान. So but the beauty of that director's room was that it had such amazing pictorial charts, but they were very much word light. बड़ा बड़ा नहीं लिखना, महाभारत रामायण नहीं लिखनी, just 1 or 2 lines, but big. So whatever are your big goals? So for example, I still remember Mitsubishi was about to do an acquisition of or an alliance with BHP Billiton. So he had written there, BMA at maximum $15 billion because the investment was clear. And that deadline by January 00 Y2K. So आज तक वो एक sentence मुझे याद है. So you have to write some big goals for your own reference. Now, another very important thing, hour-wise planning. If you make very long deadlines, I will study 10 chapters by November 2022, वो कभी नहीं होगा. So you have to give yourself shorter deadlines, a daily target. In fact, I'm going to keep on shifting between slides. So just give me a second. I will just move here on the slide and show you a specific thing of how this works. Just 1 second, please. So the concept here, I'm going to go back to that IIM Ahmedabad's armor framework. So when you make a schedule, like the basic chart that we were using here was a very precise schedule. We had a mentor professor to whom we had to give this chart. कि सर मंडे को 6 से 9 क्या करूंगा, ट्यूसडे को 6 से 9 क्या करूंगा. So your goals were very clear. And this kind of a chart was there. And then every week in the first year, it was, I think, first trimester every week. Then in the second trimester, once every 10 days. And in the last trimester, which was twice a month. लेकिन सुबह नहीं उठ पाता. So then the professor would guide you. So I had a very specific goal कि Monday को 8 to 10, I will do English chapter 1. And then we were asked to have these kind of monthly goals. कि इस महीने I have changed the subjects, keeping KR Mangalam students or the young students in mind. कि मैं मैथ्स के 2 चैप्टर करूंगा और नेक्स्ट मंथ अप्रैल में 4 चैप्टर 200 break them into sub goals. Total chapters are 30. The moment you set your big goal, ki I will do 30 chapters by September, it will never happen. So you break them 2, 4, 6, 8, 4, 3, 3. And at IIM Ahmedabad, they were particular about minimum 1 revision, preferably 2. So they'll tell us, new kya kar rahe ho, revise kya kar rahe ho. So there was a third column. I don't have that IIM Ahmedabad sheet of 1995, 96. But I just made that yesterday night. So actually at IIM Ahmedabad sheet, there were 3 columns, new chapters, revision, and revision 1, revision 2. So break them down. So long as you don't break them down, you will not be able to get the full benefit out of it. So let's go back to the.
So this sheet of yours reminds me of basic learning and memory and retention principles. So if we go by Ebbinger's learning curve, it very clearly shows that why at regular intervals you really need to reinforce. So that is why, revision is also very, very important along with learning new.
Perfect.
Right?
Perfect.
And then going for re-revision. So very scientifically designed such kind of thing. So if the universities can do something like this, that they devise such kind of tools for their students. And now, of course, we have technology to our rescue, and every university has departments who are into artificial intelligence and machine learning and all. So such apps can be very easily devised by them. And fortunately, there are so many now available apps, and they are free. Right, they can be downloaded for the benefit of students. So thank you so much for sir sharing with us the teaching techniques and regulating techniques of such a premier institute. I think this will go a long way, in helping our students' perspective as well as the present students to understand very clearly that if proper environment is created by the universities, the student has no other alternative but to follow it,
Yes,
right?
yes.
You are being goaded constantly.
Yes.
So thank you so much, sir, for sharing with that sheet with us.
Okay, sir. That was a really great demonstration of you are what you see and how you live. So, sir, since our target audience is obviously students of various ages, so I would like to give you, I would like you to give us some student-specific techniques of smart working, if you have more to share on it.
Yeah, sure. I'll be happy to do that. So let me go for a very important concept of here, which is called the ILO framework. So just give me a second, please. And this is very, very vital. So I'm going to give you a very important concept over here. And this is called something like the ability to manage your time. I'm just give me a second, please. Are you able to see my screen, or I'm going to share it now?
Yeah, now you are visible to me, but no slide. Yes, I can see the slide now.
So, ma'am, there is a very important concept that good students identify the important task. In our life, we have 4 kind of things to do. Zone 1, which is important but not urgent. Zone 2, important and urgent. Zone 3, not important but not urgent. And Zone 4, not important, not urgent. So, ma'am, I'm going to do a quiz now. So I'm going to give all the students who have joined here today to please send me which zone do you think is the one where you spend maximum time, and which is the zone which is most important. My number as always is 935-422-6620. I repeat, 935-422-6620. Hurry up. Which zone is most important for us and which is where we spend the most time? You can be honest. Okay, I've started getting answers. This time it's a girl called Sunidhi. Okay, so Sunidhi says that I spend a lot of time in things which are not important but urgent. Okay, I'll explain that in a while. And now, oh, okay, I have this answer from Mohit. Mohit says that zone 2 is the most important. Okay, I think Mohit, let us discuss that. Thank you for your answer. In a life of a professional, it's important to understand that things which are not urgent, important are the most vital. So leaders like Steve Jobs, Bill Gates, Andy Grove, they mastered the art of doing important things much before deadline when they were still not urgent. Because when you keep on procrastinating, delaying the important things till they become urgent, you move from planning to firefighting. So a good student, Rishika ma'am, makes that schedule like I am Ahmedabad and starts doing the studies much before they have become the deadline date. A study that you start doing earlier, a project that you start doing well in advance, you can do in the complete control of your mind, calm, relaxed. But if deadline is day after tomorrow, you are working for 24 hours, your efficiency is very horrible. So a student needs to know these 4 zones very well, which let me explain once again. The important task, if they are left to the last stage, become urgent and they become the low efficiency zone. On the other hand, important tasks done well in time become the highest efficiency zone. So whenever a student joins a semester, suppose a student joins Mangalam University, there are many subjects, but there is an independent project. And student decides to take a project on RBI's monetary policy evaluation. Now this project, let's say, has a 30% weightage. The student may want to do this project first, even when it's not urgent. Because if you do it in the end, you are effectively doing a very poor performance on your efficiency. And let me talk very quickly about what happens in real life. In real life, we spend a lot of time on addiction, a lot of time on compulsions, and very less time on planning or important things. Therefore, my advice to all of you is the ELO framework. So Rishika ma'am, ELO framework for students says that
sir, I will love, sir, if you could show them the that slide, karna padta hai. Right.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
those are the things which we really need to bust.
Okay,
So,
okay, sir. Let me explain
sir,
it. So,
that's
sir,
very important.
okay, sir, I will explain this. So, sir, what this basically means is, what are compulsions? So, I mean, I'm going to give a frank example. Like we used to be. This was a slide which was taught to be one of my respected professor, Dr. Dholakia, who was one of the RBI deputy governor and had the great privilege of working under. So Dr. Dholakia he was my mentor. So I was very fortunate that way. I worked under him for 6 months as a student. So he told me what was told by Amitabh Bachchan to Tapsi Pannu in the movie Pink. उससे 20 साल पहले मेरे को ढोलकिया, डॉक्टर ढोलकिया, आरबीआई डिप्टी गवर्नर, मेरे मेंटर बता चुके थे. He said, गगन, अगर जिंदगी में कुछ बनना है तो learn to say no. घर में गैस खत्म हो गई, मम्मी कह रही है बेटा जा गैस ले आ. पिताजी की शर्ट फट गई तो जा बेटा बटन से चुआ के लिया, बेटे चीनी खत्म हो गई लिया. Of course, I mean this is a questionable thing, so it's not so easy. So what Dr. Dholakia used to say is, Steve Jobs कभी अपनी बीवी का पेटीकोट सिलाने नहीं गया. Bill Gates कभी अपने बच्चों की स्कूल की फीस देने नहीं गया. So the point is, of course, everybody's circumstances are different. But the point Dr. Dholakia made when he made this slide almost like 25 years back, and I have made a very quick version because I've been doing this over the last 2 days, is a good student knows to say no. But someday I'll do a session on emotional intelligence, so you have to say no very sweetly. Mama, I'm so sorry, Mama. Please, ये आपकी साड़ी फट गई, लेकिन मेरे को नहीं, आप जाके खुद कर लो, because मेरी बड़ा crucial project. So learn to say no. But learn to say no so that relationships don't get destroyed. Say it very gracefully. सामने वाले पड़ोसी की दादी मर गई, उसके श्राद्ध पे जाना है. भाई, very sorry, मेरा कल केआर मंगलम का फर्स्ट प्रोजेक्ट है, तो दादी माँ के लिए रेस्ट इन पीस, बट मुझे माफ करना यार. पड़ोसी की बीवी गिर गई, उसका टांग टूटी हुई है, तो बजाय गंगाराम अस्पताल जाने के, भाई माय ब्लेसिंग्स, बट यार मेरा कल केआर मंगलम में फाइनल हुआ है, तो मुझे माफ करना. So what Dr. Dholakia used to say, Dr. Roda sir, is that the maximum time can be saved by compulsions. जो बुरी आदतें होती हैं उनको छोड़ना आसान नहीं होता. Of course, so जिंदगी हंसने गाने के लिए है, पल Netflix भी देखना है, YouTube भी देखना है. तो his philosophy was on this: attack on compulsions which are societal needs. कि टायर पंचर हो गया, रिपेयर करा चुन्नू, साड़ी फट गई, रिपेयर करा मन्नू. So a good student plays between these two zones and shifts. The ability to minimize addiction, ability to contain compulsions and shift up is the greatest secret to be a good student. Nothing else was the message of the legendary Dr. Dholakia. And इसी पे sir, he used to have this ELOPE framework. He simply used to say, try to eliminate the addictions. लेकिन zero मत करना, 10% रखो. Contain the lead work, लेकिन जीरो मत करना, नहीं तो रिश्ते खराब हो जाएंगे. पड़ोसी की दादी के श्राद्ध पे भी शायद जाना हो, या मंदिर मत जाना, घर जाके 2 मिनट मिलाना. So but prioritize your pearls. And I'm very much privileged to tell you, sir, I worked under him for 6 months on Tata Group's entry strategy for a private sector bank. RBI in 1996, I worked under him for 6 months. Then later on, he became a deputy governor of RBI. And I learned this greatest lesson by his mentoring, that we can only succeed in life when we do important things when they are still not urgent. I repeat, in order to become a successful student, we can become successful only if we master the art of doing important things while they are still not urgent. Even for professionals, I'm sure there must be many KR Mangalam professors here today. Maybe that pending PhD, maybe that pending CII big leadership role, maybe that pending university vital role. Nobody will tell you to do it. Nobody told Steve Jobs to kill iPod and launch iPhone. So what Dr. Dholakia used to say, great leaders by themselves identify what are the important things, what are the pearls which you have to prioritize, and do them now. That becomes a very vital part, sir.
So very important, very wonderful, I would say. Very wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
And very practical.
Yes, definitely, definitely. Okay, sir. So as ma'am asked, I think it's already 12:10. Let me quickly explain one more technique, which is called spaced revision. Spaced revision means always, like all the students who are here, आज इस सेशन के बाद बच्चों ऐसा एक चार्ट बनाना, ऊपर लिखो Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, like this. Then write new and revision. कितने घंटे पढ़ना है वो आपकी मर्जी. I'm not here to tell you कितने घंटे पढ़ना है. But like Dr. Arora spoke so wisely about the concept of Ebbinghaus principle of revision, the space principle says, अगर आपने मंडे को ये टॉपिक्स पढ़े A1, A2, A3, तो इनको ट्यूसडे को रिवाइज करो. यहाँ 2 घंटे पढ़े तो यहाँ आधा घंटा रिवाइज करो. जो ट्यूसडे को पढ़ा वेडनेसडे को रिवाइज करो. जो वेडनेसडे को पढ़ा वो थर्सडे को करो. जितनी देर मर्जी पढ़ो, up to you, but have a concept of spaced revision, and then once a week probably revise everything. So this is what we used to do at IIM also, but you can make your own schedule. I have, because now I don't have access to those, all my documents are gone, but by my memory I've been working hard for this for the last 2 years. So all the beloved students who are there, follow this spaced revision.
And I would like to add one point over here, because what idea students are gathering is 16 hours, 18 hours, this, that, right? But it is very important to take care of how the brain works, right? So another element which I like to add over here is, whenever you plan, please take into consideration the way our brain works. So our brain, like our body needs rest, brain also needs rest, right? So it's very important to have breaks in between, right? So you plan in a manner that I will work for, I'll study for 1 hour, 35 minutes, 45 minutes, and then I will take some break. And that break would involve maybe at that time, if you eat something good, nutritious, something with sugar. So that would help you to, understand the things better. In fact, this is my personal observation that whenever I used to study, I used to feel very hungry in between. I don't know whether you have felt it or not, but this is my personal thing, So always keep a few things with you handy and all that, so that you can have a small break, you can eat for a while, you can do some kind of exercises, you can have a stroll, you can move around, you can watch something and all that. But in between, breaks are an essential element. And I think Sarah has rightly put the slide, that becomes a stress buster, right, sir? Am I right?
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. In fact, thank you. This was one of my last points. Everybody's body is different. So I salute you, sir, and deeply accolade for your very pertinent observation. So कितने घंटे पढ़ना है, जैसे सर ने कहा, बच्चों आपको खुद डिसाइड करना होगा. So me or anybody cannot guide. So there is different, body has limitations also. And so you have to sleep well, have breaks. So there is something called a Pomodoro technique, which says ki do things in the pattern of 25 plus 5. 25 minutes padho, 5 minutes rest. But then you can modify it to your own energy levels. Choose your study times. If you are the type who can study well at night, well, you may like to do that. For example, in my case, I was always a night worker. So even now I've been working on this particular project. So most of my work would happen from maybe 8 o'clock in the night till 8 o'clock in the morning. So as a professional, find your divine energy source. Is this the moon? Is it the sun? What gives you good health? Because at the end of the day, health is first. If health is lost, everything is lost. So like Arora sir enlightened us, I encourage all of you to take good care of health. Yeah. And then
so,
just to end my...
Here you, as you said, sir, this finding your own energy zone, it's very important. Some of the people, okay, for them mornings are not that great because had over, late night, so feeling a little tired, sleepy, but maybe by 10 o'clock or so, after a cup of coffee or after a good breakfast, they feel very energetic and all that. So that's the best time to study. For some people, it is post-lunch, right? And as Sir said that he is basically would love to work in the nights. So that is what is the source. So whether it is sun when the sun is at the height, or when the sun is rising, or the sun is setting, or you are something with the moon, that exactly has to be seen.
Sir, in fact, allow me to tell you a small incident, which is generally on the spot coming out of the mind. Sir, I'm talking about 10th. Up to khair, Delhi is all polluted so sadly, and there are no beautiful birds. Sir, वो जो कहते हैं ना चांद को क्या मालूम चाहता है उसे कोई चकोर. So the chakor bird used to be there, sir. And the beautiful crooning of chakor used to be audible at around 11:15 exact. And I'm talking when I was in class 10th. And sir, so since those were still good old days when everybody would sleep around 9 o'clock, so my parents, everybody would sleep at 8:39. I would start studying. And when the chakor would sound around 11:15 exactly, I could match my clock. And I used to feel energized. Okay, this chakor is inspiring me to study. I mean, I'm just giving a small example. So build small connects with nature, build connects with your surrounding, and that can always empower you, I feel.
Great, sir.
Okay, I'm really sorry, sir. The internet connectivity was gone. I'm sure.
Sir has touched upon basically, what techniques are really required for a student particularly, right? So you can go ahead, Pada, please.
Okay, sir. So then now that we have a very all-encompassing and comprehensive understanding of smart work and what a student should do and everything, what do you think is the role of the university? Where does university, plays the major role in enabling a student?
So I think this has come again and again during the interaction between Arora sir and me, that probably there is that fundamental, may I call Kutwin's equation, where a student's overall productivity can be seen to be a partnership of two things. So if we were to say P as the productivity of students, it's a combination of two factors. The productivity of as an individual and the contribution by the student as a university member. So simple terms, student role plus university and student role as a combination. Therefore, let me give you a few examples very quickly. I've shown most of the examples. At IIM Ahmedabad, we had dedicated mentors, especially during first trimester, second trimester, who were helping us avoid distractions. There were various distractions, and I'm not going to name all of them now, despite it being a zero alcohol state, zero drug state, and all that, this and that. There were many distractions where we are not going today. So professors were really sincere friends, and there was a sheet. We used to call it the Tryst with Destiny sheet, inspired by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, who probably that time our director was very much enamored with, respectful of. So the Tryst with Destiny sheet had this schedule that how well did we follow. So what happens, ma'am, even if a student is great, but ends up joining a university whose systems are not smart, the output may not be that satisfactory. So it's extremely vital for all the students who are listening to me today to understand two things. Number one, of course, you have to be smart. Use the ARMOR framework, use the champion framework, which we have introduced, but join a smart university. And as at KR Mangalam, the SMART principles are followed. All the students must therefore be able to have that connect and then benefit from these smart systems which the esteemed KR Mangalam University offers, be it mentoring, be it schedule-based follow-up, be it some apps which are converting the students, be it certain periodic, like IIM Ahmedabad, I told you, ma'am, वो पूरी book देते ही नहीं थे. They would give 5 pages today, 3 o'clock. Tomorrow you come back with the answers, then they will give you the next 5 pages. So I simply believe that a student needs to make the right call when it comes to the university. And which is where probably I would like to be very, very curious to learn from your good self about the wonderful smart principles which are being imbibed and practiced by your esteemed university.
Yes, actually, at KR Mangalam University, we offer a lot of clubs and societies to students so that they can engage in their empty time, like when they are free. They're they can engage themselves in. We have a Chetna society that encourages them to have a very to learn the work-life balance, to know about to encourage their spiritual self. And then we have a lot of other societies like design and photography clubs, and there's a club of Model United Nations where they can learn about debating skills and creative writing skills and other things. Apart from that, we have a mentor-mentee program where the faculty is basically are like second parent to the student. It contributes in a holistic growth of the student, since the faculty is always ready with their expertise and their experiences on the issues that 18 or 19-year-old might be facing in a college life. So that's a program that KR Mangalam University offers, and their students can also have their doubt removal session, because not every student is able to catch up with the entire class. Some students have they're slow learners, so they can ask the mentors about their specific issues, and the mentors can have a one-on-one interaction with them. So that's one thing. And then also we have student extension activities that can where they are shown documentaries and movies that can inspire them and learn about the world better. So these are the events and clubs and mentor-mentee programs. Through these things, KR Mangalam University offers a very holistic opportunity for a student to grow and flourish. So,
in fact, ma'am, allow me to just substantiate on two things in a general context. So all students who are hearing us, ma'am just spoke two very important things. One is club and one is customized mentoring to respect the disparity among the students. So thank you, ma'am, and allow me to say this one. Even at IIM Ahmedabad or DCE, there were different students with different abilities. I was very good in the beginning on operation courses, marketing courses, but since I had never studied accounting, I was really struggling at accounting. At IIM Ahmedabad, in the first trimester, first 80 days, we had to study that much accounts, which was taught in 3 years at Delhi University. So a real challenge of struggle. So all the students who are hearing me today, please hear carefully to what Rishika ma'am said, that KR Mangalam's fundamental ideology to provide customized, speed-oriented based mentoring to students based on their strength, weakness, speed, ability, and limitations is the single biggest thing a student can really dream of having from any university. So really, ma'am, I would like to congratulate on that. And the second thing is the clubs, which ma'am is saying, because at the end of the day, I was basically a corporate recruiter. In one word, I'm a recruitment specialist, interview specialist. That's my real area. I train students, professional directors on group discussions, interviews, because I've conducted 1 million interviews for Mitsubishi across Asia, mainly at the regional headquarters like Korea, Thailand, Tokyo, Manila. In all of these journeys, the skill which becomes important is interpersonal relationships, communication relationship, ability to read people. And you can read and work with people well, only your interpersonal skills are strong. Your communication skills are strong. So all students who are listening to this live webinar at Facebook and other social media streams, I think Rishika ma'am's second point is also extremely pertinent, that with the kind of club society, Chetna society, interactive groups, your people management skills, your soft skills will get refurbished. And once that happens, trust me, you get the master key of success. And you can't just lose at any interview. So I really hope, ma'am, your points have been well received by students, because these two things which you just said are quite laudatory, exceptionally outstanding. So my humble compliments for that. I wish you all the best.
Yes, thank you so much. That was a very enlightening interaction with you. It was very knowledge, oriented. It was very informative for us. Thank you so much to join us. With that, I think I would like to end this webinar. Dr. Ashok sir, do you have any question? Any query?
My only thing is this, that before we end the talk, we are not ending the webinar. We will, you see, we just gave you an idea how to work smartly, particularly as a student, that how you can be. So now one is that, okay, you have to work smartly, and I give you some points. Another is this, that this is a very scientific process. It is not like this that, okay, so a lot of research goes behind it, how to ensure to provide you that E element which Dr. Gagandeep was referring to, the environment. So the focus is primarily on providing a very nourishing kind of environment to the students, right? And ensuring that the P element, that which you bring with you, the potential is really, we help you to, really be able to manifest the unique potentials you have. So this is one point is this. If I have to say, in terms, we have been talking about Mitsubishi a lot today, there is one principle which Japanese follow, that is called obeatori. That means what this principle is, if you are a plum, you become the best plum. And if you are a cherry, you become the best cherry. A plum cannot be cherry, of course, but a plum can be the best plum. Right? So what we do is, when you come to us as a plum, cherry, peach, we provide you the best of the best environment so that you can grow to the zenith. All right. That is what exactly is the basic philosophy of KI Mangalam. So today was a wonderful personalized talk, I would say. It was a very personalized experience based, because my personal experience in Delhi College of Engineering, my personal experience of I'm Ahmedabad, and all that, and I also shared a couple of my personal experiences, the way I work with my students, right? Now, if we have to truly understand this E factor, which I have talked, the environment, because Sir has very clearly mentioned of this, that it is two factors which really make P factor, the personality, the personal attributes of an individual, and the environment. So how KRM brings you a very rich environment, I'll request now, ma'am, to take us to a virtual round of the university itself, so that we can understand better what is this E factor we boast of, or we are very proud of, right? And one of the demonstration of the E elements is bringing in the best of the best experts to you, and making it possible that you have an interaction with them. For example, today we had a wonderful interaction with Sir. Thank you so much, sir. It was so enlightening and so great. And a clear demonstration of E factor, what we talk about. So now, my special thanks to you, sir. If you have time, kindly stay back. If you have some other engagement, please feel free. I'll request Sirja ma'am to kindly take us to the virtual round of the university.
Okay, sir. So I'll take your leave, and my blessings and best wishes. And I hope that students can benefit from the great smart systems which are offered by KR Mangalam University.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a great honor to work with respected Arora sir, and I wish you all the best.
Thank you, sir. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, you have those slides of the university, I hope.
Wait, sir. I'll see. So the issue is okay, that I'm not working on my laptop because the internet connectivity is gone. So
Okay, so let's understand all about the university. Of course, that PPT, because of technical issues, we cannot show you, but we can definitely share with you what exactly our university stands for and what are those E factors which we had been mentioning, right? So to make you, to help you better understand the university, our university is situated at Sona Road in Gurugram, at the foothills of Aravallis, and it has a huge campus full of greenery. E factor, which we're talking about, lush green environment, and in that lush green environment, we have the most modern infrastructure. See, there are two elements. One is greenery, nature. Another is the most modern and latest, smart classrooms, or digital library, air-conditioned hostels, and a state-of-the-art infrastructure as far as the sports is concerned, and more than 30 laboratories. This is what exactly is to give you that kind of environment. Now, that is basically only infrastructure, but infrastructure is not just confined to the physical infrastructure. Okay, infrastructure means basically both the human as well as the physical. So I just gave you a glimpse or an idea. I'm trying to make a verbal picture before you of the university. Most important point which I'm referring to over here is the human infrastructure. So we have more than 150 plus faculty members on board who are, very well accomplished in their field. So these 150 faculty members, you may be thinking, okay, infrastructure, faculty members, why I'm only mentioning the two, why I'm forgetting the students who are the core. So we have more than 3,000 students over here. Now you can understand very clearly when you interact, there are 3,000 students, 150 faculty members, plus we have a facility to rope in the best of the best brains around the world. So this is how we are creating that stimulating environment, right? So I will say education, learning stimulating environment, an environment which constantly brings you which caters to your curiosity level, which makes you understand better, and always there is something more in store for you. Now, this is as far as the human and but the university is not only this, all right? So we have more than 13 schools functional. So ours is a multidisciplinary university. So we have, the School of Management and Commerce with us. We have the School of Legal Studies. We have the School of Architecture and Design. We have the Education School. We have the School of Humanities. We have the School of Applied Medical Sciences, and we have the School of Agriculture. We have the School of Hotel Management. So you name any school, we have it over there. We have the School of Journalism, Mass Communication. So here, what you see is this, that now you say that I got admission in a particular course in the School of Engineering, say, okay? So what I have to do with humanities, what I have to do with legal studies, what I have to do with it? two benefits. One benefit which our university provides is that we give you freedom to design your own curriculum. Like you joined a course, core courses, of course, say you joined engineering, okay? And in engineering also you join, say, computers, right? Or you join mechanical engineering, or you join us with civil engineering and all that. We ensure that your interest is, apart from engineering, you have an interest in legal studies, or you're interested in linguistics, or you're interested in agriculture, or you're interested in management. So every semester we give you a choice. And this choice is in terms of selecting any paper across schools, and you can study that paper along with that very school students. So there is a freedom to choose, right? Freedom to polish your interest. Freedom to take your interest further. This is another aspect which is very important, because now when I talk of curriculum and all that, our curriculum is not a stereotype curriculum. Now, you might be wondering, what is stereotype curriculum? Generally, okay, you have this course, so there are these papers which have been approved by, say, a particular body with which that branch is associated. If it is, say, engineering, it is approved by AICT, or if it is education, it is approved by NCT and all that, right? That way. But over here, what we have is, on our board of, in the academic board, we have experts from the industry. So since we have experts from the industry, what we have designed is, we have created industry relevant curriculum. So apart from the regular curriculum, which you get at, regular universities, what we do is, we provide you extra papers, credits. And for that, we have collaboration with the biggest, more than 100 giants in the industry. So say, in the School of Management, we have collaboration with IBM. In the School of Engineering, we have a collaboration with IBM, we have the collaboration with Zibia, we have the collaboration with Siemens. So what is it now? It is not simple collaboration. So for example, Siemens in mechanical engineering, experts from Siemens would come to teach you 16 credits, 16 papers. In every semester, there will be 2-3 papers, which would be taught by the industrial experts. And those, the curriculum for that has been designed by them, along with our, academic experts and all that. Now, here, they bring in both. They bring in the human resources of the industry. They bring in the infrastructural resources of the industry. For example, Siemens has, I'm just giving an example of Siemens only, same way IBM, same way Zibia, and other organizations with whom we have the collaboration. Siemens is into auto development, and they are the pioneers of electrical vehicles. Now, if they are the pioneer of electrical vehicles, what makes them so? It is the softwares which they have developed for the development, for testing, for ensuring quality, as far as the electrical vehicles are concerned, because constant research is required. So our students have an opportunity to work on this software. For example, our students are doing some project in which they are testing, say, a particular vehicle would be more efficient if its headlights are made into this fashion, or body is made into this fashion, or the gates are designed like this, because streamlining matters a lot. When you do such kind of things, what happens? What happens is this, that you design something now under simulated conditions. With the help of this software, you can test your idea. You can improve upon your idea and all that. So this is how we give you a practical industry based exposure. Now, another advantage of this collaboration is this, that industrial experts are coming, so you have the chance of getting internship over there. You get an internship over there in those industries where these companies have the linkages and all that. So you get then another advantage of this is this, that suppose you get a credit in A, B, C of any of the papers did by the. Now, since these companies have an all global, pan word presence, so their people trained by them are recognized by all over the world industries. So you have an edge over other people. Wherever you go, your credits are acknowledged, your credits are recognized, your credits are appreciated by the industry at large at the global level. So this was one factor. Another factor we have is this, that we have not confined ourselves only to collaboration with only industries, but we have collaboration with the leading universities all over the world. Now, this idea is to give you a global feel of how the things are moving over here. So we regularly conduct, you are free, you can decide. Suppose in a technical course, you want to do 3 years in KRM and you want to do 2 years in some other university outside, you can choose something like this. So this is another advantage we have. Then the advantage we have is when we infrastructure. I'm talking of E factor, basically how E factor is being the one we have would help you and all that. Then we have mentioned at length over here that when we have human resources, that is faculty, that's industry, and experts from other universities and all, right? Now come this, how do they make linkages with the students? So for that, we have a special program of mentor and mentee, which ma'am made a great reference of, and Mr. Singh also elaborated on. Now, and the clubs also were mentioned of that. Coming on to the next part, okay, fine. We have this infrastructure, we have this and all that. Students are very much interested in to know the fee structures. So our fee structures are basically, if you compare it with the private universities in the neighborhood, in Punjab, Haryana, Rajasthan, Bihar, you'll find comparatively we are offering much more in much less, right? So say in technical courses, are is only I think 1,20,000 something, whereas if you take the Punjab, it is around 140, 145. Delhi's private university is also same, only barring Bihar, which is around 90 something and all that. So what you see over here is the kind of facilities you get is in this. Now, one thing which bothers students very much is that any scholarship, because ultimately finances matter a lot. And when we talk of finances, we do offer scholarships. So at the UG level, we offer to very deserving candidates to the tune of 100% even the scholarship. We have scholarship for the, siblings. Like suppose you are already there and some brother, sister of yours wants to join this university. So we give 10 to 15% off to them. We have, scholarships for the sports students also, who excel in the sports and who want to join the university. And we have, of course, for meritorious student, for sports quota, we have quota for the army personnel, the forces personnel also. Their wards also get scholarships. So we have a range of scholarships, which is, as per your category, you can avail. Then coming to this, that $1 million question, if I spend 4 years or 5 years in the university, then how would I be placed? So I want to share with you that we have a rich record, right? More than 400 or, companies regularly visit us, and this process of placement and all that, because we have a special placement cell which focuses particularly in this. Right from the first day you join us, we start the process on and all that. And to give you an example, the highest paid package of one of our students got was 24 lakhs per month, per annum. And not only this, that one of our students, I'm just giving you an example. Right now, he's working in the in Canada, in the Israeli embassy over there, as a technical analyst. We have a student who was with us, an architect student, is now in one of the Ivy universities. He got selected and doing his post-graduation level from there, and he has got a wonderful scholarship, and I think $15,000, something like that. And we have, entrepreneurship cell in the university, and we have the incubation cell also. So by the way, you're free to choose. You can choose one of the papers on entrepreneurship itself and be a part of it, and can learn the basic nitty-gritty or the concept of entrepreneurship. You can come out with your own ideas. We bring in investors who provide you finances. So one of our students, Khan, I believe his name, he is right now running his own company in the education circles. So this is how you find our students getting placement. So it was about scholarship, it was about placement. Now you might be interested in to know how you can get the admission. Okay, so there are two ways. Of course, the fast track admission is if you qualify in CUET and you are interested, you can join us through that, or you just contact our admission officer, and they will give you an application, and you just fill in the application. And once you fill in the application, there is a small test you have to go through. The university conducts a test, After the test, there is an interaction session where where and the faculty of the department or the school you have chosen. And once you are through that, you can deposit the fees, and you become a part of the KR Mangalam family and all that, right? So this was all about KR Mangalam, the E factor which Mr. Singh referred to. And I am sure you enjoyed this webinar today. And my special thanks to make this a successful one to Mr. Singh, who had been with us and who, very nicely, very graciously shared even his personal experiences with her. And my special thanks to ma'am, who had been moderating the session, and the technical team particularly, who made it feasible. And I think I'll fail in my duty if I don't thank you, because without you, this whole exercise doesn't have any meaning and all that, right?
Thank you so much, sir. Though due to technical glitches, we couldn't give our students the virtual tour of the university. However, through your extremely comprehensive oral presentation, I think we were able to visualize how the university is, how it functions and everything. So it was amazing to have you with us. And I think, should we end the webinar?
I would like to end with this comment. The taste of the pudding is in eating. Okay. So we just took you a virtual round through words, right, of the university. Best would be we invite you to visit us.
Yes, sure.
Okay.
We would like this.
And once you visit us, you can see by your own eyes, you can have a feel of the fresh air. You can see the rich infrastructure we are talking about. You can have a peep into our, laboratories, especially I would say E-Yantra laboratory and our smart village, which we are very proud of. Right, this E-Yantra laboratory of ours is in collaboration with IIT Mumbai, and we give you an access to this through this laboratory to work directly under the professors from IIT Mumbai. So here is something, but you must come visit, see, and the best part is this. You can not only meet the faculty, but meet the students and know from them what exactly they are feeling. They are the best person to tell, right? So we look forward and to welcome you in the campus and arrange a tour of the campus the way you decide, not we decide. Okay, so thank you so much for being a part with us. And once again, my special thanks to the technical team, to my academic team, whose representative ma'am is representing that, and our wonderful guest, and of course, the most important, the participants, the audience. Thank you so much for joining us, and have a good day. Have a good day. Thank you very much. So I request Mr. Tahir, our technical team head, to kindly close the session.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Tahir, sir, please close. Tahir, sir, please close.